भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्।
Take my love, let it flow in fullness of devotion to Thee. Oh Lord, take my hands, let them work incessantly for Thee. My soul, and let it be immersed in one with Thee. Oh Lord, take my mind and thoughts, and let them be in tune with Thee.
I offer my humble pranams at the lotus feet of our dear sweet Lord, Bhagwan Shri Satya Sai Baba, loving Sai Ram's dear embodiments of love. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all today for our online Prasad workshop. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. I hope you will be inspired by this workshop and do try out what is demonstrated in the videos presented today. There is a verse in the Bhagavad Gita, and I quote, "Divine Prasad removes all sorrows, miseries, and it calms the heart completely," unquote. Here is a small story about the power of Prasad. Once a young man came to the ashram of a master because he was suffering from despair. It really didn't matter what he did. The despair continued to plague his life. Eventually, he prayed for it to be taken away, but nothing happened, and the despair and suffering it brought now intensified. A woman devotee tried to comfort the lad, and having received some blessed food, she broke it into pieces and gave some to him. He ate a small piece of the food slowly and deliberately, and when he had finished, he found to his amazement the despair had disappeared. He felt completely well. No matter how we receive Prasad or what form it takes, be it sweets directly given to us by the Guru or blessed food shared with us by others, it is always full of divine energy. Having accepted such blessings, we accept the Guru's grace. The secret is to appreciate it. Dear sisters, do enjoy this presentation of recipes that we have prepared for you. At the end of the presentation, we will have a question and answer session. Do enjoy once again. Jai Sai Ram.
Offering my koti pranams at the divine lotus feet of Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba. Om Sri Sai Ram, dearest sisters. Today we are going to make panjiri. To make our panjiri today, firstly we'll have to gather and measure all ingredients. That is 1 teaspoon ghee, 1/4 cup flour and 1/4 cup sugar. To start making our panjiri, we will place our pot on a stove top. We will firstly start melting our 1 teaspoon ghee on medium heat. Add in the 1/4 cup of flour to the melted ghee. Now add your 1/4 cup of sugar to that mixture as well. You stir all the ingredients to combine. Try to ensure all the ghee is mixed into the flour. Once combined, cook on low to medium heat, stirring constantly until sugar begins to caramelize on the bottom of the pot. Continue cooking the flour sugar mixture on low to medium heat, stirring constantly until the sugar begins to caramelize nicely. Once the sugar has caramelized, the flour will also begin to turn a light golden brown color. Once the flour has turned color, your panjiri is ready. Allow the mixture to cool before offering as Prasad.
Om Sai Ram to all our beautiful ladies. It gives me great pleasure to share with you this afternoon a recipe to make kolkata. Before we start making the kolkata, there is few steps that is required in making the kolkata. Firstly, I would like to share with you the ingredients before I would mention to you the method. We would need 250 grams of white rice, 120 grams of soft butter, half cup of sugar, 3/4 cups of desiccated coconut, 1/4 teaspoon of ilachi powder, half cup of white sesame pearl, and half tin milk. So before the method, we need to soak 250 grams of rice overnight. So in the morning, you would drain out the rice with a strainer and you would leave it to dry on newspaper. You would leave that to stand for 2 to 3 hours before removing the rice from the paper. After 2 or 3 hours, you will feel the rice, and the rice need to be moist and not too dry, so that when you are grinding the rice, it will be a bit easy to grind. You will blend the rice on the first round. Thereafter, you will sift it with a sifter, and then you would grind the rice again into a smooth powder. After you have ground the rice, you will take the rice and you will fry it in a dry frying pan, and you will be tossing it for at least 5 minutes. After you have done that, you would remove from stove. Please do not brown the rice powder. Then you would start the method, and before you start the method of making the Kolkata, I would like for you to boil at least 2.5 liters of water in a pot so that you could steam the dough when you have finished mixing the Kolkata. So now for the method. This is the ground rice that we've prepared. While the rice has been removed from the stove and hot, we would add our butter into the rice. We would start mixing this rice and we would start making it into breadcrumbs. When that is finished, I would like to add my til that is prepared here. I'll add my til into this dry ingredients. Okay. Then I would add my sugar. The desiccated coconut, the ilachi powder, and then lastly I would add my tin milk. So the tin milk will be poured into this mixture in order for us to form a soft dough. I will start to knead this into a soft dough, and you will find the dough a bit sticky. So now my dough looks like this. It's sticky. If you see my hand, it's sticky. I would now take it to the boiled water. Now I have used the idli pot in order for me to steam the mixture. So I pour the mixture into the idli pot. And I would steam it for 25 minutes. After 25 minutes, I will then remove the mix from the pot, and I will then put it into a bowl. So this is the mix that's out of the steamer. While still hot, I will mold this into finger like this. This is how the kolikata will look like. So I will start making all this mixture into a nice finger size kolikata. So that. Okay, it's a kolikata. So once I've done that, I will now take it and place it on a tray or in an airtight container. I've chose to place this in a tray so that I could show you what the kolikata looks like. And this is my finished kolikata. Jai Sai Ram, I do hope that you have enjoyed this video.
Om Sai Ram. Loving greetings to you. Today I will show you how to make rot.
Om Sai Ram. Today we will be doing khaja. The requirements are 4 cups of flour, 1 cup of brown sugar, 1 cup of coconut powder, 125 grams of butter or margarine, half a cup of til, 2 teaspoons of ilachi powder. Now we will start with the recipe. You'll add 4 cups of flour to a dish. You'll add your 125 grams of butter or margarine. You will mix it together to form breadcrumbs. Sairam, now you can add your dry ingredients, your 2 teaspoons of ilachi powder, half a cup of your til, one cup of the coconut powder, one cup of brown sugar. You can use white sugar if you are not happy with the brown sugar. Mix all the dry ingredients to the flour. Add 1 cup of sour milk and knead to form a soft dough. Now you knead the dough. It must be soft and pliable. If your dough is a bit too dry, you can add a little bit more of the sour milk and thereafter take your dough and put it onto a floured surface. You can take pieces of the dough to roll out. Roll to 2 centimeter thickness. Now you can cut to diamond shapes or any other shape that you would prefer. You can use a diamond cookie cutter as well. Now we can start frying. Your oil must be nice and hot. Fry till it's golden brown. There we go, your completed khajas. If you want, you can dip it into syrup and add coconut powder to it, or you can actually leave it plain. Sairam.
Shri Sai Ram, we invoke the divine blessings of Lord Ganesha on the auspicious occasion of Ganesh Chaturthi by offering the sweet delicacy that is Modak. Modak means a small part of bliss and signifies spiritual knowledge. In the Puranas, Lord Ganesha was offered Modak to satiate him. The sweet coconutty inside, surrounded by the unassuming dough of the outside, represents the beauty of the soul. In order to make Modak, you're going to need curd or jaggery, desiccated coconut, wheat semolina. In some recipes, they ask for rice flour. You're going to need some ghee, some ground up ilachi or cardamom, and some ground up nutmeg. If you have a Modak mold, you can use that. Otherwise, you can mold them from scratch. Start by adding a tablespoon of ghee into the pot and then adding some hot water. You're going to wait till that comes to a boil and then add in our semolina. Once your water has come into a boil, you're going to add your semolina and mix quickly until a dough forms. Once your dough has formed, you can take it off the heat, but continue stirring. Ensure that there are no lumps in your dough. While your dough has been left to cool, you're going to put a little bit of ghee into another pot, and then you're going to add your desiccated coconut. A general rule of thumb is your desiccated coconut needs to be 2 to 1 of your jaggery. So if you're adding 2 cups of coconut, you need to add 1 cup of jaggery or curd. Okay. Start by allowing the coconut to just cook in the ghee. Allow the coconut to toast before adding in your curd. Once your coconut has been lightly toasted, you're going to add in your curd. You should have a thick, rich caramel color at the end of it. Once it has caramelized, you will remove from the heat and add your ilachi and your nutmeg. Mix well and let it cool. Once your dough has cooled down and is warm to touch, you're going to start kneading it. If you find that the dough is hard and looks like it's going to break, you can just add a few drops of water. The first technique we'll be trying is the Modak mold. So it closes like that with a nail that seals it. You'll take a small piece of dough and put it in the middle. Okay, you're going to press it along the sides of the mold to create a hollow inside. Okay, if you need to press it further in, you can use your finger or a chopstick. Once it is neatly pressed into the side, we'll add our mixture inside. Be sure to press it in and pack the modak mold tightly. Once that is complete, you'll take a small piece of dough and just seal the bottom of the modak. We'll now open the mold to reveal the inside. If you do not have a modak mold at home, you can use a small piece of dough, roll it out. Ensure that it is nice and thin. Once it can fit into the palm of your hand, you're going to make tiny folds into the dough. Place some of your mixture in the middle. And gently fold upwards, making a point. Another widely accepted way to create the modaks is to use a half moon shape. Again, we'll roll our dough out thin. Fill one half of your dough with the mixture. And fold it over. In a deep pot, you'll add a stainless steel bowl and some water and place a plate or a steamer on top of it. You can also use an electric or bamboo steamer. Place your modaks inside your steamer. Close the pot and let them steam for 55 minutes. Once your modaks have been steamed, you can take them out and give them a light drizzle of ghee. and then garnish and serve as desired. Jai Sai Ram.
Offering my Koti Koti pranams at the divine lotus feet of Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba. Om Shri Sai Ram, dearest embodiments of unconditional love. Today I will be making halwa. To make our halwa, we will be using a full quarter cup of flour. We'll be using 1¼ cups ghee, but I have 1 cup of ghee here, and the quarter cup will be used during the process. We have 2 cups of sugar and 2 liters of milk. We will start off by using 1 liter of milk, and the other liter we will use during the midway of the cooking process. And we have our ilachi powder. Mixing our dry ingredients, we add our measured flour into a bowl. We add the measured sugar, and we add in a little ilachi powder. We will now mix in all our ingredients. It's a good idea to use a whisk. It mixes all the flour and sugar nicely. Into this dry ingredients, we're now going to add our milk. We will only be using 1 liter. We pour in a little at a time and whisk in nicely. We must make sure there are no lumps. We continue adding the milk. We have used up 1 liter of the milk. It's nice. We continue whisking till all the dry ingredients and milk are mixed in thoroughly. We get a lovely, beautiful, creamy, milky mixture. We're now ready for our next step. Our next process, we start preparing to cook this liquidy milk mixture. Bottom based pot on the stove. We have switched on our stove. Heat a bit to our pot. We add the measured out 1 cup of ghee. We have added our ghee into the pot, 1 cup of ghee, and we will reduce the heat, and we're ready to add in our milk mixture to the heated ghee. We now commence our cooking process. The milk mixture is added into the ghee, and we start cooking. This requires a lot of patience and continuous stirring. I prefer using a whisk. It helps. It's easy to make sure lumps don't form in the cooking process. Cook, cook. Stir, stir, stir. Continue. As we're cooking, you'll notice that the ghee is so beautifully absorbed into the milk mixture. Looking good. It has really started cooking nicely. Our mixture after 15 minutes of cooking is looking beautifully, thickening up nicely. As we can see, the ghee is fully absorbed into the mixture. A lovely thick mixture. This is almost 30 minutes of cooking, coming up nicely. At this point, we will start adding in a little more milk. Beautifully thick mixture. This is the correct consistency that we require. At this point, we continue adding the milk and stirring. As the milk gets absorbed, we add in a little bit more. Our halwa is doing nicely, it's cooking beautifully. Now we're going to just add in all the milk, completing our 2nd liter of milk. We complete our 2nd liter of milk and we continue with the cooking process, patiently stirring and stirring. Whisk, 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 stir, stir, stir. Our halwa looking beautiful, awesome. At this stage, it's now 1 hour of cooking. At this point, we add in our additional 1/4 cup of ghee and reduce heat and continue cooking. Ghee will be absorbed into mixture. Beautiful. Beautiful. Look at that. Looking lovely and glossy with the additional ghee and all nice, beautifully absorbed into the mixture. Reducing heat further, I've now got it on 2. I will change whisk to a spoon. It's looking so good. We must continue patiently with the stirring. We don't want to burn at this stage. It's in a delicate stage, so we on very low heat. After an hour and a half of cooking, we have beautiful halwa. Perfect. It's looking all lovely, has a condensed milk look, or what we call milk tarts, filling appearance. Beautiful, nice and thick. We just continue leaving it on low heat now for all that floury texture to cook and have that yummy, divine taste. About 2 hours of cooking, the halwa would look like this, fully cooked now, all nice and thick. At this stage, you can continue to leave it on very, very low heat in the pot or transfer it into another container to cool. After 2.5 hours of cooking, my halwa is completely cooked. I am now transferring it into another container to cool. All the halwa leaves the pot easily. It just flows into the other container. This is indicator that it is fully cooked. Offering gratitude to Swami, our halwa is now completely cooled. It's ready to dish onto a puri and serve Ma Durga.
Let's make laddus for Ganesha prayers. To make the trickle, add 4 cups of sugar and 5 cups of water into a bowl. Transfer into a pot and place to boil on the stove. Sift 1 kg of gram flour into a dish and grate half a nutmeg. Add 4 teaspoons of baking powder and 2 teaspoons of egg yellow. Mix until all ingredients are combined. Add enough water to make a smooth batter. Again, mix well until all the ingredients are combined. Since the color of this batter is yellow, I will now add a few drops of red food coloring into it in order to make it a vibrant orange color. Add 1 tablespoon of ghee and mix well. The consistency of your batter should be thick, smooth, and glossy. In a pan, add oil as well as clarified butter, which is ghee, and allow this to heat up on your stove top. With a slotted spoon, pick up your batter and then press on the batter to allow the bundis to drop into the oil, then allow to fry. Allow the bundis to fry until much of the bubbles have reduced. Thereafter, take it out, drain well, and place onto a dish lined with parchment. Your trickle should be tacky as the same syrup you would make for gulab jamun. Once all your bundis are fried, add it into a dish and pour the syrup over. Add a pinch of elaichi powder over your mixture, as well as any nut of your choice. In this case, we've used crushed macadamia nuts. Mold the laddu into round balls between the palms of your hand. Okay, I'll get you make it like this. You can then dip the laddu ball into colored almonds. What is that? Sprinkle with glitter, and your laddus are done. Hello everyone. Here's an easy and decadent suji recipe. Into a pot, melt the butter, add the cinnamon sticks and tasty wheat, and toast on medium heat for 2 to 3 minutes. In a separate bowl, soak the saffron in milk for a few minutes and add the rest of the ingredients and mix this well to combine. At this point, you may adjust the coloring to your preference. Now, pour this mixture into the tasty wheat and stir continuously for 3 to 4 minutes. Cover and simmer on low for a further 2 minutes. Add in the sultanas and the suji should be fluffy and cooked. Serve this with dessert cream and colored almonds. Enjoy!
Om Sai Ram, sisters. We welcome Sister Prema, our Zonal Ladies Coordinator. Sister Prema, would you like to say a few words before we go on to the question and answer session?
My humble pranams at the lotus feet of our Divine Lord, Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba. Om Sai Ram, loving sisters, Sister Judy and team. It's been a lovely demo that's been done by the regions. It's beautiful. It's nice to see, that the demos have really turned up well. And Sister Judy, I think you've just got me at the wrong end of this workshop. I would have rather preferred tasting all these things, So, like I say, I've probably missed out on that. So, sisters, it's lovely to see these recipes come up so beautifully, especially with young adults, when they have these prayers and you need to make up these items. I know a lot of you all keep phoning your mums and finding out, how do I make up this and how do I make up that? Now that you've seen this today, I hope it has inspired you, motivated you, and you are now going to make up your own. And try and impress your mother-in-law by all these good things. Sister Judy, well done to you and team, and to all the regional ladies that contributed towards this. I may have a few tips or suggestions, so when you get going, I will probably just add on. Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.
Thank you, Sister Prema. We promise you the next one will be a face-to-face one, and you will be the number one judge for tasting.
Yes, thanks.
We now have our question and answer session. Sisters, if you would like to know anything, please do raise your hands and then we will unmute you. We did have a question earlier on if we could share the recipes. Once completed, this workshop will be uploaded onto the Triple SGC YouTube page. So if there's any questions, you could just raise your hands and we will unmute you. Om Sai Ram, I see our president, Brother Reuben, is on. Brother Reuben, would you like to say a few words?
Om Shri Sai Ram. Yes, Sister Judy, I'm so sorry I joined the session quite late because I was busy with other things. Unfortunately, my wife is unable to join, but I just wanted to join because I also love sweetmeats. I want to, Sister Judy and your team, I want to congratulate you on this fantastic effort. You made, the recipes that the sisters have presented here are just so simple and they're just so good, and looking forward to some of these treats, and well done to the team, and please continue with the good work that you are doing. Thank you very much, Sister Judy.
Thank you, Brother Ruben. Thank you for your kind words. Sister Prema?
Sarah, Sister Judy, is this the end of all the recipes or are there more to come?
No, this is the end of the recipes.
Okay, can I just contribute a few suggestions?
Yes, please go ahead.
Sarah, sisters, I know there's sometimes when we work with, certain ingredients like flour, when we did the kolkata, the dough does become a bit sticky. And I know previously I did mention also, when you start molding or you start mixing, it's always nice to rub some ghee onto your palms and fingers, so you don't get the dough sticking onto your fingers. And even when you do the laddus and things like that, so that helps where it does not stick on. And also I know rice, we normally soak rice and grind it into a flour. Sometimes you want a quick fix, something to do, and you may want to use the rice flour, ready-made, bought as such. And when you do use the rice flour, it always is dry compared to the soaked and ground rice flour. So just a little suggestion, if you are using the rice flour that's bought, when you're warming up the rice, you could sprinkle a little bit of water onto it while it's warm. And it's nice to use like a spray bottle, so you're not getting like a lot of blobs of water falling into certain areas of your flour. So if you can use like a spray bottle and just spray a little while the flour is being heated, that will help to moisten the flour. So that's just one of the suggestions there. And okay, I know the halwa, I love it, but you really have to have the patience to have that done for the hours you've got to stand and get that, mixed all the time. You've got to be at it. Otherwise, I think all the recipes well done to all the sisters. And it's good to see that these things have been done. And I'm sure they all are foolproof, tested and done. Thanks, Sister Judy, Saram.
Thank you for those tips, Sister Prema. We do have one question here. It says, Om Sai Ram, thank you for the lovely demonstration. It's difficult to do the bundis for the laddu. Sister Indrani, if you could please give us some tips on that recipe, we'd appreciate it. We'll unmute you now.
Saram, can you hear me?
Yes,
Oh,
we
yes.
can hear you.
Okay, the sister that made the bundi, the laddu, I did not, she's not on here, but I can check with her and can I get back to you, Sister Judy, because I don't want to say something that's wrong on this question and answers section, because I'm not too sure now about the bundi. It is a bit tricky there as well to do it like that, I suppose. Can I get back to her about that?
Yes, Sister Indrani, the sister that did the question, if you could please let us know which region you are from, and then I will speak to your regional lady. I will send the answer through to your regional ladies convener. Thank you.
Saram, Sister Judy, can I come in?
Yes, Sister Prema.
Okay, with the bundi, if your consistency, the batter is correct, it should not drip too much, where it's too thin consistency. You could use a slotted ladle that's a little, deep, like a scoop ladle. So as you pour your mixture in, it will start falling into your oil and start moving that spoon around the pot so it doesn't all fall into a chunk in one spot. And if you have an assistant to help with, as it's falling into the oil, they can just start separating it. It'll form little bundis. So that's just one of the suggestions. Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you, sister. We've got another question for the kaja recipe. Is it fried in ghee or oil? Sister Shamaine?
Om Sairam. Om Sairam. It is fried in ghee.
Thank you, Sister Shamaine.
Sarah, Sister Judy.
Sarah.
One of the sisters wanted to know where to get desiccated coconut. I think desiccated coconut is available in most of the stores, and it's normally in the baking section.
Thank you, Sister Radha. It's also, maybe she was confused, it's also called coconut powder. Coconut powder and desiccated coconut is the same.
And also, the bundi, I tried filling the mixture into a sauce bottle, the plastic sauce bottle, and you drip it into the oil, and it works beautifully. I tried this recipe yesterday, and it worked well.
Thank you, Sister Radha. I see Sister Sundri wants to say something.
Yes, Sairam, everybody.
Sairam.
I just wanted to speak about the kori kata. The kori kata, if you've been going to be trying the kori kata, and if it does not taste like barfi, then something went wrong.
Thank you, Sister Sundri, for that tip. Any other questions or comments? Okay, if there's no more comments or questions, we'll move on to gratitude.
Om Sai Ram, my dear loving sisters. I'm honored and filled with gratitude and thank our Divine Mother Sai for the opportunity to be part of this workshop with all our sisters present here today. Today we gather not just to create delicious dishes, but to celebrate the spirit of sharing and creativity. We are grateful for the opportunity to come together and exchange knowledge and savor the fruits of our collective efforts. May this workshop remind us of the joy in collaboration and the abundance that emerges when we cook with intention and love. Let us cherish this moment and extend our gratitude to each participant whose unique contributions make this experience truly special. With Swami's grace, we'd like to thank each of our sisters for participating so graciously and so willingly. Thank you, dear sisters. Jai Sai Ram.
समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति